go. Let's see. Music. Where did the media player thing go inside? Well then, I guess I'd better go into here and open up Windows Media Player. We'll play that.
Nice background, by the way.
I do like my background. It's a nice Toho minimalistic thing. I've got 5 of them that rotate in and out because I can't find anything that matches them. So, well, if you want to join, then you can pull up Curse and we'll invite you to the conversation. Do you want to join this call?
Thank you, kitty.
It's gonna be weird. Oop. Forgot to change my nickname. This is where I usually just have everything set up ahead of time, but I figured this might be better since this is more of an informal stream. Plus I usually upload the game development ones to YouTube. So, say hello to YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
What were we doing before? I've been programming for a while now. I have a number of things that I want done here. You know, I'll just drag this over here. I think I was working on the basic combat. Because right now I have the player, and the player can go whack somebody. It's kind of loud. Ooh. Man, the game does not run well with the stream going in the background. What is this? Nope, there we go. It smoothed out a bit. You know, it says it's at 135 frames per second, but I don't exactly believe it. That should be fine later.
Okay, there's an issue on my end. One moment. I might end up disconnecting from Curse.
That's a great issue. Okay, what are we doing? We're not doing that or that. I don't think we need that either. I was working on tools hitting enemies and players, and it wasn't hitting the player, and I was wondering why.
Also, I'm back.
Hello.
Hello. I should no longer have any kind of audio stuttering issues.
Okie dokie. I may have changed the layer that is for moving between, or it blocks enemy movement from ground to walls, because walls get in the way and the ground you walk on. Although, I guess...
What if we had some special tiles that, if they're closed, then the tile itself acts as a wall, but if they're open, the tile acts as a ground tile?
Can we change the layer that they're on?
Mid-run? Yes.
Yeah, so whenever it opens up, it changes its layer from wall to... I got rid of the other one. I'm going to add a new layer and call it ground.
Okay.
Although I'm not sure we need half of these layers. I mean, there's a layer for players and enemies and tools and pickups and walls and the ground. I can see a different one for walls and ground. Or maybe that one could just be default rather than ground. If you could just walk through it. Maybe instead of all of these we have characters and walls.
Characters, walls, and objects?
Objects would be good.
Yeah.
I'll leave walls in the spot that it's at. The player layer is now characters. I want to be using tags for a lot of interactions anyway, instead of layers, because layers...
Layers determine the rendering order of things.
Yeah. And layers are like the floors that you can interact with. I'm not sure if floors is the right word for that. Hola! Welcome
Hey,
to
welcome.
Tinker's Dungeon Stream.
Yes. Co-op stream.
Yes. The music's a little bit loud, or you're a little bit quiet? I think you're a little bit quiet. Its music's on number 9.
Well, my microphone should be in the right place, and unless Curse did something to my audio settings, which I don't think it did.
Can I turn you up?
I know you can.
Yeah, it was at half. I think the default's half. Now you're at 100%.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Wow, you're loud. Your voice is peaking on the microphone now. Okay, that should be fine.
Okay,
So,
I have a squeaky chair.
my player's tag is player, and they're on the characters layer. I guess I need to change all of the other... Oh, they're already on layer characters and tag is enemy. That's fine. I don't think it's because... Oh, I saw lines in between these things. You see some weirdness inside the Unity editor and not inside the game sometimes.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about with lines, like
Yeah.
lines between the tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that usually comes with a couple of a bit of weirdness that occurs with the tiles. So.
Well, why wouldn't that be hitting the player? I don't know why my skeleton suddenly decided to move super slow either. There may be some optimization we need to do later. I just kind of want to get it running before I think about that. Though I do want to know why this particular skeleton is... Like, the sword is active. I can see the sword when I pause the game. But I can't see it when it's in the middle of the game. Maybe if I put it on a different layer for sorting. I don't know. I've been working at this for a while and... Wait, where did my player go? There we go.
Did you mess with the skeleton speed?
No, that's the weird part. I haven't really touched the way the skeleton moves. There's my skeleton. Yeah, it's just supposed to move towards the target. And then it normalizes, and so it should always be the same distance away. Heh. Some problems are difficult to solve when you're going along here. Hello, hello.
Hello.
What if I just ask it whenever it finds something, regardless of whether you're your owner or not? Tell me if you're interacting at all. Nope. Okay, you go down there then. Let's turn the rooms off and just turn the skeleton on. Wait, that guy's got a bow. I don't want him. Okay, this skeleton does not have the same problem. Although I think this skeleton doesn't have any of the stuff on my sword that I'm supposed to. No, you got the stuff there. Okay. Maybe the prefab went. Anywho. Oh, it's not a trigger. Of course it's not gonna happen to change if it's not a trigger. But it's still not triggering. Well, at least this one works right. We need sneeze alert. You think it will repair the bugs? Is your character going to have a walking animation? Yes! I wanted to get everything working before I started working on animations. I mean, this character's only gone through 3 out of the 6 steps you would need for proper sprites. Same with the skeleton. Though the skeleton doesn't look too bad.
Also, I see that haven't properly done everything we need to for weapon animations.
No. Weapon animations go along with character animations and
Wait, what alert?
the sneeze
I'm
alert.
referring to. Excuse me.
Let me turn down the
I'm
volume
referring
on this
to
for now.
The fact that all of the weapons are currently moving at a snail's pace.
Oh. Well, the snail's pace isn't too bad. I liked having the snail's pace for this guy, because if we turn it up to where it should be... That better?
Still really slow.
Still really... Well, wait for it to catch up on the stream. And you can actually see how fast it's trying to do things. Like, the pickaxes are going to be slow, because they're pickaxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun thing about just messing with numbers. It goes about this fast. Well, since I don't know what's going on, why is the player even a prefab? I don't need you as a prefab right now. Let's start playing with things at random. Oh, the player's box collider isn't trigger. That might be it. No?
That might actually cause issues with mapping.
It might cause issues with what?
The mapping. Because if I remember correctly, if the player's hitbox is a trigger and it collides with the walls, it's going to cause some...
Well, then it's a good thing the player never actually collides with the walls. It just moves right up next to them. The character controller is kind of complicated in the way that it does stuff, but it does things really well, and you don't have to worry about what kind of boxes you have or anything. It just moves it around and looks for box colliders.
Oh! Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, how much code's in here anyway? I didn't write most of this. 313 lines of code? Just for moving characters?
That's not bad.
Yeah. You need it on every single thing that can move like the player can. So, skeletons and slimes and bosses. But once you plug it in, it just works.
Yeah. Then, like... else.
The player does have a box. Huh.
So, step me through the events on
Oh,
the
there we go.
skeleton sword.
The skeleton sword was on the wrong layer, apparently. As for the events, it's just a melee tool, and it's supposed to run on trigger enter 2D whenever it hits something. Well, that's interesting. Why does the player's tool work just fine? It's on the tools layer.
Maybe we should have two tools layers. Because one layer would be for calculating the hitbox of the enemy tools, and the other box for the player tools.
I ran out of health.
Oops.
Well, I could just put the player's tools on the player layer, since the only other thing that's on the player is the player itself. I'll just make sure to keep them on different layers in the future. Let me grab my prefabs for different things. Yeah, they're all on the tools layer, and they have tool as the tag. And I was a thief. Joke, obviously, and if something can be used to make things quicker, yep, it should. Well, yeah. I do keep notes about... Oh, where's the tag for who wrote this? This particular class was authored by Prime31, and I've fudged it. Because you don't need, like, side steps and going up slopes when you don't have any slopes, and it's a top-down game. Also, I need to fudge it so that it has proper Like, the player is always in front of a skeleton right now, rather than behind them. And I want it to, as you move up and down, move through them. Let's do that right now, actually. Let's see. Probably in movement methods. Yeah, we'll just mess with the... Hey, there we go. Occasionally Visual Studio derps pretty hard. Delta movement. Now that's not actually where they get moved. How about in the move spot? Transform, translate. I wonder if I can just assign the Z position. Nope. I wonder if that works for now. I have to look into breaking this apart if I actually have the character go up and behind and... I mean, maybe. Maybe it's just too much magnitude, or... Maybe I need to mess with the sorting order. Yeah, that actually works. I don't like that, but it works.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do I need? If the player's health gets to 0, it should reset the world. Where's my player at? But get rid of everything else. Damage health. If health is out, nope. What's the command for loading a new scene? Whoops, now get that over here. If anybody in chat has any questions about what's going on, or anything like that, let me know. I would imagine that a game development stream isn't exactly the most interesting thing to watch. Not textures. It was something over in this toolcraft scene where you could go to the next one, or actually the title. Start. There's a title? There's a title script. There we go. So, if we die, it's going to instantly reload the level. Character backstory. Character does not really have a backstory. The UI does not update properly. Oh, yeah, it actually reset. Cool. And the only way you take damage is by getting hit with a sword. Okay, let me go fix the UI real quick. You pop back up and saw word multiplayer. There's no multiplayer in here.
You probably saw multiplier.
Multiplier is good.
Yes. Multipliers are useful.
Yes. Do you want to talk about some of the design that's going on in this game?
Sure.
Sure.
Yes.
Do you have your head... Are you neck deep inside code right now?
Well, considering the code that I've written right now is just only like... And this is for the mapping rewrite.
Working on mapping
It's more
2.0?
I'm trying to... I'm trying to figure out all of the logic behind the second mapping system. So...
It's always fun working on the abstraction layers between what you want and the computer's zeros and ones.
yeah.
So what's going on with it?
So, the programming for the new mapping system, it's probably gonna behave somewhere in between Enter the Gungeon and the way the mapping works in Rogue Legacy, where you have a bunch of rooms next to each other, and you have a set size for a given hall. Those hallways are usually just like 3 blocks wide, but there are like rooms that are actual hallways that have one minimally extreme dimension, one maximum dimension. And usually those hallways will have a couple of nodes on both of their walls. So, let me put it this way. There could be a secret room in any position of the dungeon as long as you can see a shape of a room that meets the minimum tile size. So, if the room can fit, there will probably be a room there. And the tile size is calculated like minimum room size plus 3. Because 3 is the minimum thickness of wall between actual rooms.
So the room itself has to be at least 6 and not just 3?
Correct.
What if you're making a hallway, or a room that is a hallway?
The minimum size of the room on that dimension, like absolute smallest a dimension can go, is blocks. Not 3.
6?
6. No, 7.
7.
I want to heart these on odd numbers as far as dimensions go. So it'll be like +1, which the room would have a yeah. We're not going to have even numbers on the dimensions of the rooms. It'll make mapping a little bit easier.
What if you want to make something Like, in the Binding of Isaac, there are L-shaped rooms.
And I've seen rooms inside the little corner of the L shape.
Yeah.
That's not really doable.
In the Binding of Isaac, every room is the same size, so they can just kind of throw it in there for the sake of throwing it in there.
Yeah, what the Binding of Isaac can actually do is actually kind of clever. So, the way the Binding of Isaac map system works is that it starts off by generating a series of same-sized rooms along together, and then it starts merging some of the rooms.
Ah. That does make sense.
That's how it's able to form those weird L-shaped rooms. This mapping system will not have that kind of functionality.
Alright. Maybe later on, if we need a very specific room.
If we had to make a tile type that had to do that, then we'd have to rewrite the entire map system again, and I'd have to create a new concept.
Yeah, no, the one you've got is fine.
Yeah.
If I need to make an L-shaped room, it's just going to be a rectangle with part of the thing missing in it. And you know what? If I have enough space, I will just put another room over there, and it will be a special kind of double room.
Kind of like the way
room.
those special rooms worked in Dungeon?
Yeah, probably.
I'm referring to that prison room within a room. Like the one, if you've seen the sample for the dungeon tile sets in my DeviantArt, there's a room within a room.
Yeah, which is represented as just some tiles within a square. But it comes out as a room within a room.
Yeah.
Well, that would explain what happens with the half heart. It's not actually a half heart. It's a background heart.
Oh.
Where's my UI? That is the right HP. It's always a little bit weird going back and forth between the visual editor of Unity and the code of Visual Studio. Which, it says Visual Studio, but it's not actually visual, it's all code.
Air quote, visual.
Yes. Oh,
But
I'm
it is a
assigning
very,
the wrong
very
sprite
useful
here.
program.
Hmm?
Visual Studio is a very useful program.
Yeah. Though it wasn't useful enough for me, so I got ReSharper in it. I don't need everything from ReSharper, but I do like the ability to refactor things easily and look up stuff. Some things that I was missing from Eclipse, actually.
Yeah.
Now, why is that off-center? We've got the right texture here.
Ah!
Those are all the same size.
Looks like the half hearts are not getting offset.
Well, they're supposed to have the exact same position as the regular hearts. Although it looks like they might be a little bit higher.
Size as well.
Let me go open this up.
Yeah.
I mean, they're supposed to be 32 by 32 sprites that I'm putting next to each other. Yeah, all of the half hearts are 1 pixel higher than the other hearts. So nuts to that. That still doesn't explain why it's not centered. Couldn't you use something open source instead of Microsoft? Something like Eclipse? Eclipse for writing C# code.
That doesn't have the ability to integrate into Unity.
Right. I could use MonoDevelop instead of Visual Studio, but since I'm already using something that's not open source and free, I may as well just use something else that wasn't open source and free.
Yeah. So the problem with MonoDevelop is that if you've already got a development environment set up, it takes an age and a half to reset up that development environment for something else.
There we go. I was adjusting the X value rather than the Y value on here. And it looks like it is properly taken from my armor, which is great.
Cool. UI testing. Huzzah.
Yeah, it's the most interesting thing in the game, right?
Yeah.
Put that here. Now give me your armor. Wait, do I only start with 2? Please tell me I start with more than 2. I start with more. Okay, so that's actually broken. Ah. That was more useful than I thought it was. We'll just leave it there. Yes. Lose the vest, lose the top part, lose the vest, lose some life. Excellent. Attack the skeleton. Alright. Now I just need to figure out how to get tools in the UI. Is Tinker's Dungeon based on a platform already in use, or are you making your map system? Something like OpenGPL or any game engine. Well, what you're looking at is the Unity 3D editor, so obviously the game is in the Unity engine itself. We're building on top of that.
I'm working on exclusively on the map system, and I'm currently working on map 2.0 at the moment.
Yeah. I've got map system 0.1, also known as super hard-coded version.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll see something actually useful later. Well, I guess I can turn on the map thing that I've got right now. So you can see what that looks like. Where'd it go? Where? Oh, there you are. It's basically just a bunch of rooms that I stuck together. And I have specific things that spawn and... Why are all the skeletons active? Yay, bugs! Let me guess. I have them start active. Yeah. Anywho, this was kind of the idea before, except instead of hallways we had rooms, and I think there was going to be bigger rooms and smaller rooms. I'm not exactly sure, but there was going to be different levels with a whole bunch of different stuff in them. And it was all going to be built out of code, and I have it built out of prefabs. Like, I've got a boss room and an empty room, and you know, I spent longer on that than I should have, but I really needed something to work with. Something to show off early on.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could just... So this game is like a 2D game, not 3D. Yeah, it's like The Binding of Isaac. It's probably based more on The Legend of Zelda than on The Binding of Isaac.
Yeah.
Let's make a new prefab for tools. Or in the UI. I seem to like prefabs. It's always funny how big these things are. It's like if you bring up the UI in the game and you compare it to the game itself, the game is in units, but the UI is in pixels, so a single pixel on the UI is the same size as one of the units in the game. Let me show you. It's really silly looking. Are you gonna make this game the way you can do mining too, like Stardew Valley? Nope, nope, don't have a pickaxe that I'm going to be killing everybody with. Ah, how did I get 6 slime balls? Yay, more bugs. And I can walk over the terrain now. Even better. Anywho, here's the UI overlaid on top of the game. Yeah, a single slime ball takes up more space than 4 of the rooms do.
Yeah, I had a feeling this bug would crop up the moment you switch the player's hitbox from a box to, well...
I mean, it was working. I just need to be looking for... their platform mask is nothing. Now then, they should be looking for walls. Yep, works just fine now. I forgot to tell it to look for walls.
Silly.
Yep.
Silly Dio.
Yep. The enemies are just fine. As for mining, the game is definitely based off of Tinker's Construct, and Tinker's Construct had mining and digging, and I want to represent those in the game somehow. So, we've got walls, and I think I want you to be able to pickaxe the walls apart, assuming they're made out of good stuff. And it might take you a while to get through them. I want to incentivize you to move through the dungeon more than try to break through the dungeon. We can always leave things like lava in the walls, if you're so inclined. There's also going to be things like ores later on in the game, and there might be some rocks that you can dig up, and you can make tools out of. But since you're not always going to have a pickaxe, we need to have multiple ways to get these special items. Like, mining explosives and a pickaxe. Maybe if you go up and punch them long enough, if they're that necessary. Or hit them with anything at all. You guess crafting is going to be a thing? Oh yeah. Yeah. This is going to be the way that the game is differentiated from other roguelike games. See if... Let me just go back to the title screen. It's a great looking title screen, right? Tinker's Dungeon. In all black and blue background.
Yes.
This isn't really done yet, but I have myself a sword set up, and we can make our sword out of individual parts. Like, I want it made out of wood, and there's some slime, there's a rock, which is actually supposed to be iron, there's some more. Now it's got a wooden blade and a slime handle with a pommel and a guard made out of iron. And I can actually go in the game, and I broke it. I don't have the sword. Crud! It was working before. There's no reference exception in here. Well, I goofed. I'll fix it. You're supposed to have a sword! This is the problem with changing things as we go along.
Yeah.
Also with things being half-built rather than full-built. Yeah, let me work on the thing that I was working on before.
That's actually a really good question, Trilix.
Are you going to make the part system that way you find the parts, not craft the parts? Ah! You know, I actually am out of water, so I'll answer that when I get back. Have a torch.
Touch time. Don't worry, I'm not gonna torture you with puns for too long.
I have returned. The stream is probably going until 2, by the way, and it's 1 now. Okay, so the question was, are you going to make the part system where you find parts in the game rather than craft the parts? I hadn't thought about that before, but it's a perfectly valid question. I think how I want to do it is when you're making your tool to begin with, you have materials and you have patterns, and you put the whole thing together. So you have, whenever you go up to a new tool station, you can just shove some material inside the pattern and you get a new part and it gets added to your tool automatically. But sometimes out in the world, when there's things that you can find, you'll find tool parts just loose lying around. And you can add those tool parts to your tool instead of adding material to it. There'll be special ones that you can't craft, so it'll feel like you're finding something that's unique. You're like, I got a tool blade made out of some kind of weird tree that grew into the shape of a sword blade. And it's a very different kind of wood because it's spiky and it's made out of thorns, and it has a different ability than wood does, because wood probably won't do anything, and a spiky wooden blade would reflect damage back in an enemy. And if you had other modifiers like slime on it, it would reflect slime back at them. You think if you can smelt things, you can't make a furnace? You need a room to smelt in? Well, as far as the tool station is concerned, later on in the game you'll unlock the smeltery, and the smeltery will become part of the tool station. It's going to be kind of fun when I get done. Let's call this that, and don't need this, like that. We'll just have a transform here. Are you going to add something like Soulbound? Something you get from a boss like Wither in Minecraft. There's not going to be anything Soulbound, because when you die, that's it. You have to start over. You might be able to get your stuff back on a later run by going and finding it, although something in the dungeon may have also found it before you and you have to wrestle it out of their hands. But it's not going to be like in Minecraft where you die and you just respawn. There's no respawning in here. What are we working on? Tools. Tool stuffs. Yep.
I actually had an idea regarding that. Like, an idea I had was like different conditions depending for getting your stuff back depending on where you lost it. For example, if you lost it if you died on the first floor, your stuff might be inside of a slime, so you could get it back, but it'd be at half durability.
And completely coated in slime.
Yes.
Yeah, the fun thing about modifiers is, if it's coated in slime, maybe it has a slime modifier now. And
yeah,
you didn't want slime on it because you actually wanted to make it more durable, and now it's flinging slime around because the durability one and the slime one aren't compatible, and neither of those are really compatible with the thing that shoots explosions out of it like a sword beam.
exactly.
I only have a few ideas for modifiers written down right now. Let me go back to what I was doing. Let me take a copy of this. I think you can only have one tool right now.
That covers room or the base.
Will there be ways to remove unwanted modifiers? Probably. I'm considering not having a limit on the amount of modifiers you can put on something, but the more things that you put on something, the more interactions there's going to be, and the higher cost it's going to be when you remove those. Maybe you just have to remove everything, and that's not what you want, because it's already setting things on fire and trying to freeze them at the same time, and you just want to make one or the other happen.
Yeah. I think the easy way to remove all the modifiers is just to, like, throw the sword in the smeltery, and it's like, hey, you get everything back, and you can remake the weapon again.
Yeah, maybe.
Or most things back. Anything that doesn't burn up in the heat.
Yeah. There'll be some rules for what modifiers stay on the thing, what materials you get out of it when you take modifiers off, and which ones you don't get back. Like, slime is definitely one you're not going to get back because it's so common.
Yeah.
There's gonna be slimes everywhere. You lose the XP level on the tools. The experience might be part of the cost. I haven't went and designed the experience yet. All I have is some notes from what Iguana Twigs has. But we'll see about it.
No, we're not going to remove modifiers with bombs or black holes.
Yeah, bombs are modifiers.
Uh-huh.
Not exactly a great modifier on a sword, but on arrows it's really good.
Yeah.
I think some modifiers are going to be temporary as well. Like if you load up a sword with slime, then maybe it's only got slime for 5 seconds. Though if you load it up with 100 slime, it's got 500 seconds of slime.
I actually had a better idea with, instead of using, like, seconds, maybe use swings.
I think it's going to depend on the tool. A lot of them, swings are going to matter more. Some of them it's going to be shots fired. And some of them, like, you have a bomb and it should be seconds because... Or, I don't know. There's going to be some tools that are more active than a sword. Might want to make it consistent, though. So we'll just leave it at swings or uses. Or shots fired.
Yeah. Uses is pretty general.
You know what? I'm just going to play the game and see how much I need right now. If I just start up the game and hit things with my pickaxe. Because my health is working now.
Yeah.
I'm getting 2 slime balls per slime. But I pop into a new room, there's an enemy that pops up. The skeleton swings its sword slowly at me. I don't think the upgrade room does anything right now.
Maybe we should see about what happens when...
When what?
Maybe we should take a look at why slimes drop 2 slimes every time they
Well, yeah.
die or they...
Here, I'm gonna start a bug list over here. Like, tools don't show in the UI. He's totally a bug, even though I haven't written that. Slimes put 2 balls in the inventory. And I'll just put that over here. Save that, close it. And I don't need you right now.
Maybe. might be able to consider that as an option, but tell
you
you
can
right
change your
now,
character
it's
skin?
not on the list of things to do right now.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be character skins, it'd be different characters. But that's one of the last things I need to do.
Yeah. Most of our focus is going to be going towards tools and the dungeon itself. Not necessarily the characters.
Yeah, they are... Oh boy, the UI. They are actually dropping 2 slime balls. Yeah, there's 2 here, so I am correctly picking up 2. Let me cheat a little bit. Where's my boss room at? Down there. This is gonna be a great boss. Oh yeah. Up. It fired. Wait. I didn't set up the arrows to actually deal damage to me. Okay. Arrows do not deal damage. Also, the boss's sword doesn't deal damage.
Boss deals no damage.
Yep. The boss doesn't die either. Great. Now it's got lots and lots of negative health. What's up with the misplaced corners? I just wanted to know where the boss room was, since this actually is not the game itself. Also, the boss thing texture isn't done at all. I'm not gonna write that down as a bug. Okay, let's find out what happens when I go over here. That's you. And here's my upgrade room. The valuable... Oh, the boss has no loot. That explains why it doesn't die. All the bugs. What if I touch this? Can I even touch it? Upgrade room. It's on the default layer. I don't think it does anything anymore. Yeah. Upgrades just don't work. But I'm glad to see that this is coming along and I have something that I can play and test for bugs, rather than I need to build all the stuff.
Yeah.
How when you get to a boss, the walls lock you in, so you are stuck in the room till you kill the boss? I haven't actually decided whether you should be stuck in a room when you activate it, or whether it just activates it when you get in. Or you get near it. Also, there's another bug here. I'm picking up items when I shouldn't. Picking pickups over maximum capacity. That's a bad thing. I was hoping to get something like this done today, but you know, this is a lot better than it has been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're making a lot of progress.
Oh, the attack button right now is control, and I'm using S WASD to move around, so sometimes I'm like, I'm moving down. I'm hitting attack. Well, now it won't let me save. Okay, well, that looks pretty good. The entire boss is a bug. That sounds terrible. Okay, let's put this over here.
That just gave me a boss idea. As well as enemy ideas for the first floor.
Feels like the tool is a bit off from the character. You know what's not done in this game yet? All of the animations. Every single one of them.
Including tool animations.
Yeah.
Right now, all we have are like placeholders for like 90% of what's supposed to be there. So
Yeah. I mean, the rocks in the
Exception
outside
of,
wall
like,
are not a placeholder, though they're not anywhere near done. I think the only thing that's actually done right now is the grass texture, and I'm not sure that it's done.
yeah.
A banana boss? Well, if we make it a jungle, it'll have to be a banana boss. Okay. Upgrades don't work at all. It actually doesn't belong in the bug section. I haven't gotten the tool station at all done, and there's an anvil representing it rather than a nice table with a bunch of supplies on it and a hammer and a box of patterns. Good job so far. Just write the game. Close all this. Zoom. There we go. The game. That enough? Can I make the text any bigger? Yeah, I don't know. Let's close that. Okay. Well, first let's open up the slimes. So many folders in here, it's kind of easy to get lost sometimes. Huh. Slimes are a movement type class rather than an actual class. So what's on the slime sand? It's just a generic enemy with some movement. If you can make a trash slide in the game so you can trash the slime balls. There will be a trash thing. I'm not sure how much inventory management is going to make a difference here. That's going to need play tested. But there will be things that you can trash, and if you really don't like slime, I think I can set up something to auto trash. Because slime is going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit weird to have a roguelite game, which has crafting in it, and has a bunch of materials around. Actually, I think it's just this specific type, because Some games, it's like, well, you put a couple of things together and we'll call it good. The dev null.
Yeah. One of the things that just came across my mind is an older game called...
It's a great game.
Old. Dungeons of Dreadmore.
Never played Dungeons of Dreadmore. Can you tell me about it?
It's a roguelike, not a roguelite. So, permadeath is a thing, but you can actually turn off actual permadeath part of it. And you go around picking stuff up, and you can... underscore for days Dungeons of Dreadmore.
Oh yeah.
No E at the end.
The loot gets called twice.
Huh.
What's the stack trace thing for C#?
Technically both Fire Dingo? Because we have Unity's built-in source control for working with the game.
And we are sharing the files, I suppose.
Like, if Dio wants to, he could very easily just be like, hey, I'm gonna push an update.
Oh, I see.
And it's like, oh, Dio pushed an update. I can download the update. There's source control, and it's like 2 clicks. Push an update.
So I have this untrigger enter 2D thing. When earlier I set up tools to actually attack them, because in the base class I have a attack function, and this thing just bypasses it. So how about we just comment that out? And leave a note, this bypasses attack. Is it through GitHub? We're not hosting anything through GitHub. We are hosting it through Unity's collaborative function. Up here in the top right. There we go. Only one slime ball. That's a pretty nasty bug.
Pretty annoying, bro.
Yeah. The boss sword not dealing damage, I'm not sure about. There's layers on tools. It is a tool. Please tell me if I add a tag to this, it still does damage to me. Nope. Or the skeleton could just not do any damage at all now, and also be horribly, terribly bugged. Let me see if that fixes it. Did I fed a prefab that was deactivated to begin with. Nope. Nope. Well, that does fix it. Sort of. These skeletons are a lot more buggy than I care to admit, and I'm going to have to fix those properly off of the stream, because I need to think about that.
Yeah.
Arrow's not dealing damage. I think just comes down to the arrows not being a tool. Yeah. And not actually doing any damage. I could make them a tool, but then they'd need attack damage and speed and... Maybe I'll make a class below tool.
Child class of tool?
Yeah,
Or-
tool would be a child class of something that both arrows and like pickaxes can share. So I can put the attack class in there. Or, you know, I could just copy it. That works too. Oh, now you need attack damage. Maybe I should just make them...
Unity! So, the question that Trilix just asked is if Unity is open source or requires royalties. Unity isn't open source, but as long as your game isn't making more than
$100,000
a year,
No, I think it's $100,000, not a year.
if your game sells more than 100,000 units, then Unity will require an upgrade from Personal Edition to Commercial Edition.
Well, there's also Plus Edition and Enterprise.
Yes.
I'm just going to link the Unity license page. There we go. That should tell you everything you want to know about it. You'd like Unity. Unity is nice.
Unity is very nice. Like, unless you're doing like very specific things, you probably don't need to get or make another engine. However, I'm going to be learning how to do that when I get into university. And that's a whole nother bag of worms that I'm not going to.
Arrows are now a bullet tool type.
Coop.
Which means I need to go update the prefab because it's going to have all of this stuff with it. Tool name. Get an arrow. I guess durability doesn't apply here.
Unless you want
And I
the
could replace...
their ability to be like count, like value count of how many arrows are in.
Durability could be the
Because-
stack size rather than the... how many... Well, it would be the times you can use it. Yeah, okay. On the same note, its use speed is the same as its flying speed.
It really depends on the engine itself, Trilix. It depends on the engine's license. Like, I've seen an engine that is entirely open source called Flat Red Ball, which is built on XNA, and that has an entirely, like, use it as much as you want license. Or something like that. Welcome to the stream, X-Blood.
I do kind of like the idea of an arrow being a tool. Because I can just make tool generic enough that it is the same thing as pretty much everything. Let me make sure this is consistent with sword. What did I call the class that's on the broadsword? Oh, just melee weapon? Well, what if I just pressed a button? Now you do damage to me. I can't see it, but I think the boss is over here. I actually need to have a different prefab or something with skeletons. Yeah, I probably need to have them have a tool builder or a way to pick which weapon they have and just give them more than one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. That's what you get for just running through places. Oop, what's missing here? Oh, somebody hit the upgrade station. And I died. I wasn't being careful enough, I ended up dead. Oop. What? Something has been destroyed, but you're still... Oh, the game reset, and I destroyed everything, and then didn't recreate it? That's an interesting bug.
Yeah.
Level does not reset correctly. That one's probably a quirk in Unity's behavior that I'm going to have to investigate. You know, I just need the boss firing at me, so... Where is my player? Or a skeleton. Yeah, one skeleton with the sword and one with a bow. That one disappeared. Aha! It's amazing! Skeleton shoots right through me. I die. The arrows don't stop. You want to die? Here you go. Nice to see that it's working at least. And it's not killing the skeleton, it's killing me. Okay.
Question, can we make a skeleton shoot another skeleton?
I think so. Because how I have it set up is anything that it comes into contact that's not its owner, it does damage to. So let me start this one active. Turn these other ones on. Yeah, so if I have all these skeletons come after me, over here, they're obviously hunting each other. I want you to shoot them. I mean, it's not exactly... There we go. Yeah! Hey, you did! There we go. Yeah, the skeleton killed all of the other skeletons. Granted, I'm at 3 health instead of 9, but it works. And I didn't intend for it to happen, it just does. This is great.
Also, arrows probably need to vanish when they hit something,
Yeah, I'm working on that.
unless we have some sort of modifier on it.
Let me see if just doing on trigger enter makes a difference with this one.
Alright.
Yep. Great. Oh yeah, and now the arrows are firing against the bones that are here, and they have all collision boxes, and... Okay, I need the thing to ignore pickups. Let's have this be... I need to mess with this later, but... Player... It's player or player or player. So if it hits a player, an enemy, or a wall, it stops moving. So they should go right through each other.
I'm confused.
What are you confused at?
Because the arrows are just stopping and not vanishing.
I didn't set them up to vanish yet.
Cute sneeze alert.
Okay, I want to see if... Yeah, they go through each other. Great. Also, they can damage me still.
Oh. I just saw the skeleton kill each other with the sword.
I don't understand. I'm inside the arrows and... Wait, if I walk out? No? What if he shoots me over here? I believe I have broken the thing entirely. Oh, there's arrow or bugs in here. The object of type Rect Transform has been destroyed. Wait, am I destroying the prefab somehow? Or am I destroying the UI? That's the user interface. Hi.
No. You're cold.
Well, now I drank too much water. So, I'm just gonna leave this right here and you can watch me die over and over again while I go fix that problem. Here's a torch, I'll be right back. Or, you know, it could be buggy. I'll just leave it... How about we turn the skeletons off and I'll start the level up again. Not that one. And kill the skeleton so you can watch the slimes go around.
We have a torch. Torch is complete. Torture. Do do. We have a torch. Do 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 do. We have a torch. Do 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 do. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, hot pockets. It looks pretty good, Poke Cupcake.
There we go.
Welcome back. I may have been entertaining chat for it.
Woohoo! Minimize that. I'm a little bit disappointed that the editor is running so jerky, even though it says it has like 70 frames per second when I'm doing this. I don't know. CPU is also taking 14 milliseconds, which bothers me a little bit. If it gets over... Actually, 14 milliseconds is about 60 times a second. So maybe it's intentionally doing that.
Maybe.
$14 milliseconds is the right number, right? Yeah, that is exactly as fast as it's supposed to be. Perhaps it's the extra effort of the stream making not run well? Yeah. I don't really want to deal with the rec transform doing the stupid thing right now. Let's go look at the inventory. Okay, so whenever you run by a pickup, it automatically... Hi. That's my face you're touching over there. Let me close all this. Yeah, it doesn't care whether it's actually picked up or not. So let's make it care. If you find a space to put an item, then yes, you added it. Otherwise, no. Return type is void? What? Oh. Return type on that is void. I may put these two together later. I don't know. So, we only destroy the pickup if we can pick it up. Also get rid of that right there. To test this properly, I need to go kill a bunch of enemies, or I can make the player's inventory really small. There's your... Actually, the player's inventory is not on the player, it's on the user interface. I think? No. There you are. Inventory size. 2. I can pick up 2 items now. I got a bone, and I got a slime ball, and now this slime ball's in front of me because I can't pick it up. Perfect. I don't want to keep the inventory size at 2. I think I'm going to put it up bigger for now, though. I think the arrows are fixed, but I'm going to put a star by that in case they're not. I think the level resetting correctly or incorrectly and these skeletons doing things to me are related. So let's do this first. So, we'll destroy this, and that, and this. Yeah, once we get down to a certain point, there's a red transform that has been destroyed. And all I'm trying to do here is... Wait, the user interface is still here. I'm confused on this one, actually. Maybe it's not a problem with how I have this set up here. Maybe it's a weird edge case that I need to track down later. Okay, you attack me. Get you. Attack some more. Yeah, that works properly. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna keep an eye out for that later. As for this boss, it's the... Where's the guard on this thing? Oh, it's there. It's just behind the boss. Okay, well. Right. You need to be online. So, you shooting me doesn't do a thing. And your sword doesn't do a thing either. You're on the right layer. Let's drop the tag on these just in case something weird happens.
What if... I have a question. What
Yes?
if we used some kind of sprite builder for the tools, and instead of having them be and have the output sprite become a temporary prefab? Wonder if that's actually possible to do that in game, but
Well, right now, how I have tools set up is there's a sword. We have the sword itself. On the child of the sword, there's a bunch of different parts that are sprites, and the sprites are basically just rendering things, and they render over the top of each other in a layer. It kind of pancakes it. I did that both because it matches Tinker's construct, and because there could be a bazillion layers on this thing by the time it gets done. Like, if you add 50 modifiers to it, there may well be 50 sprites on the sword. All pancaked on top of each other.
Hmm.
This thing is going to look ridiculous later. I mean, you could make something like a sprite builder, but it would probably end up about the same. It might render faster if you only had one sprite instead of 50, though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
If you can get me something that actually works with that, and can be added to the tool at a decent rate, then sure. Wouldn't that get laggy? Well, to be honest, it's running at 70 frames per second right now, right? If I just copy the boss here, you can see... wait, did the boss... I think the boss killed itself on my face. Okay, you know what? We'll do it in here. La-da-da-dee! How many do we want? Keep in mind each of these has 2 tools, so it has 4 different sprites on them. Let's get up to 1,000. Wait. We'll copy boss statue 1 through 250. And then we'll paste those. There. We have 1,000 plus 1 of these bosses that have 5 sprites each. No, 9 sprites each. So there's 9,000 sprites here. Yeah, look at that. It actually runs bad. I haven't actually tried 9,000 sprites at the same time. I have tried 1,000 though. Game? Can I can't stop the game now. It runs so bad.
Oh,
It's not just the sprites though. It's all of the boss AI running at the same time. I wonder how many...
Yeah.
I wonder how well 200 of them runs. So that should be 1,800 sprites on here. The sprites aren't that heavy. Yeah, look at this. They all fired at the same time. I think it broke the game, but it was running at 27 frames per second. The CPU main is 36.7 milliseconds, which is more than it should be. And now it's trying to handle 200 collisions from arrows with 200 boss monsters and 200 or 1,800. Yeah. Yeah.
And now you can see why I want to consider a sprite builder.
Yeah, you can consider a sprite builder. I was probably going to limit the amount of sprites that could be on a single tool to 20, just to avoid that. Because you're probably never going to have more than... Oh, hey, it actually went through.
What
Now
if
it's
we
running at
went,
70
like...
frames per second again. I wonder how fast it actually runs. Because it always has VSync on. Especially in 2D mode.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So, my idea was, like, we have a sprite builder with a prefab and a function that is basically add, which takes another sprite. It combines those two and returns it and applies that as a single sprite. So literally, there's only like 2 ever draw calls for adding the thing to the tool.
I have a phone call going on in the background.
No, it's not a phone call. I need to tell you something.
Oh, well.
You did not pick up on any.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I have returned.
Welcome back.
So yes, it gets laggy. Sure it does. From my testing on my older computer, about 1,000 sprites didn't get laggy, but 1,000 objects running around, each with their own scripts going on in the background, could get laggy.
Let me out! I'm stuck in your pocket.
Your phone is making funny noises.
Yes,
his phone
it does that.
says to let him out.
I was like, I just muted my phone. I'm like, I wasn't making noise.
Uh, let's see. How am I doing? Doing pretty good.
I fixed the sword, but I'm not exactly sure why the arrows from the boss don't hurt me.
Today we're gonna do this.
The arrows are correct.
Maybe the arrow isn't calling the right thing on the player.
But the bow literally makes the same arrows as the skeleton bows, and they work just fine. Don't need a cooldown on here. It's a use speed. Wait. Cooldown equals use speed. You actually do need a cooldown on here. Let's put the defaulted bows on 40. Use speed is a float. That seems more reasonable. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, well you come down here with my other bosses, or with my other things. Turn this skeleton on. This skeleton does damage to me, right? No. These arrows are broken too. Well, that explains it. Do you see the player? You see other arrows. Ah, this is frustrating. It's like it's not even hitting the player.
I see how this can work.
Let's just comment at the part where collisions are being ignored on certain layers. Doesn't help at all. I probably don't need the collisions on certain layers anyway. I don't want to be setting those up on every single one. And I can just do it in the code. Bah. You know what? I'm getting frustrated with this, so I'm probably just going to put it down for a little while. And come back to it later. I have things to do today as well. So let's call it a day.
Okay.
Got some
And
stuff
chances
done.
are when you pick it up again, I'll have the sprite builder class done.
Okie dokie. I want to see how that works. Should be really interesting.
Okay.
So for everybody watching, thank you all, and we'll see you again next time.